since we're getting into this. So no, we I meant to tell you this earlier. I decided we could just bang some of these episodes out because they're not all important, but I was thinking we could finish season 1 because reason being we have 4 episodes. So if we did 2, maybe it'd be too short. If we did 3, we would only have 1 left. So
okay.
And the reason this will be easy, as you know, is because it starts with episode 10, a hit is a hit. Not a super important episode. No. I know you don't like it.
Actually, okay, so my vote, worst episode season 1.
Yep, I agree.
Worst episode season with one exception.
Still very watchable, still not terrible, but yeah, worst. Yeah.
When that line with Hesh when he's like, a hit is a hit, and that's not a hit,
and that's not a hit.
However you put it, and this is not a hit.
There's good and there's bad, and this is just bad.
I love when the producer's like, "Where is the chorus?"
I know. They're not good songs.
This to me, oh my god, and that
and he's
song,
not wrong. That band's
no.
So bad.
The song though that they oh god, I can't remember how it goes, but so don't be so gay or whatever the song is. Like it's what I'm talking about. Like it's terrible.
Yeah.
That they keep playing.
Yeah.
This to me is a tragic example of Adriana is a great character. Christopher is a great character.
Yep.
Their relationship together is a great part of the show.
Yeah.
But episodes that are based upon the two of them.
Yeah.
Well,
they're not good. Or they're not great anyway.
Again, we've talked about the MacGuffins on this show, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about how like the one, for example, when AJ gets in trouble at school and we're like, this is super annoying, but the only reason it happens is because he has to blurt out that Tony's seeing a therapist to the grandma, right?
Yeah.
This is another one of those episodes where like I don't think the show has very few faults, admittedly. The show has very few faults.
Yeah.
I think just working around Christopher and Adriana in settings like this, just it's weird for me.
It is weird. Yeah.
On paper,
it never seems to be important, like this. It's never like crucial to the show. Yeah.
No, yeah, you could absolutely, except for that one line from Hesh, which is
that's what I was saying. It's still a watchable episode. There are decent moments, but there are a lot of like just. It almost seems like filler.
It is in my opinion an absolute filler episode. Yeah. And you know what? There are the most popular episode of this show in the entire show is a filler episode that serves no other purpose. So and we'll talk about that whenever
filler can be good. That's true.
You if you've watched the episode I'm talking about, you'll know, but I don't remember what season. It might be season 3, but that's besides the point.
So no, I haven't seen it then.
There are some one-off episodes that again, they're just character, they're fun.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. I think, and again, I won't mention it, but the super famous character fun episode is awesome because it's fun and it's full of memorable quotes.
Yeah.
And I think this episode lacks. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, I rewatched it today. I was like, I liked it better the second time, but still not a ton.
I admittedly skip it when I rewatch it. When I binge a show, I skip it.
Yeah,
and I skip it
you.
because I don't get anything out of it. There's
there's a couple good Tony moments, couple good Hesh moments, but as a whole episode, it's not great.
The Hesh parts of the episode are the best parts of the episode. It's great.
Yeah,
and I mean, look, I think any straight male who says that they don't want to just stare at Adriana is lying to themselves, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't care if she's not your type. That borderline slutty Jersey accent leopard stuff she wears, like it's just a perfect example of.
And she's hard not to stare at.
Of course.
She's just so perfect looking and like
and she's, and I mean, I know I've said this before, like. Everything I've ever seen of her, of the actress, Drea de Matero, it's like she's the coolest person ever.
Yeah,
and
that helps too.
She's supposed to be ridiculous. They all thought she was ridiculously funny and so look, if there's a character universally loved on that show. It's her. So
yeah.
Well, and I'll say this: the episode is great because you get a lot of her, which not just because like I like looking.
No, yeah, she's a good character.
Christopher's always in episodes.
Yeah.
Not to say there's not episodes with Christopher, but Christopher's a main character. She's not.
Yeah.
So
you don't even see much of her until
no, you don't. And there will be times where you go periods of time without seeing her.
I'm sure.
So yeah, so that's a big it's great. It's great that she got it. It's a great episode from that perspective. Just
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of episodes that have characters that you never see again. I don't like that. Like you have the genius rapper and his crew. I get the feel like they could have worked as characters, but I'm like, I get the feeling you never see any of these guys again. So what's the point of even doing it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think
or unless I'm wrong, does he? Yeah, I didn't think so because I've never heard anyone talk about him.
No, that's done. I don't remember there ever being a reference to him later. I don't think there is, but there's some of the
So I feel like why even bother? Why bother to make an episode with characters that are just gonna come and go?
Well, yeah.
Unless they die. Unless it's like a conflict or something. But
I guess they were just trying to create something. I don't know.
I think they were trying to do something different, is my guess. They wanted to go outside the box a little bit.
Give Adriana something to do.
Yeah. And there's some funny moments too, like the band, the Christopher interacting with the band and stuff is pretty funny. Where like the guy like the singer like works at Kinko's or whatever, and they're at the studio, and the guy's like, "Dude, I'm not in a hurry. Kinko's gave me 5 days off." And Christopher's like, "Fuck that! I don't give a shit." He's like, "Kinko's, really?"
What's
like, we're
really
finishing
funny,
this today.
What's really funny, and I laugh about this every time, is when my old band first started. Like when we first started,
you weren't called Defiler, were you?
No, we were not called Defiler. I promise you. No, but the band we did our first like series of shows with.
Yeah,
2 of the guys in that band worked at a Kinko's.
That's funny.
Well, yeah, but dude, when you play in a band, knowing someone who works at Kinko's is like,
oh yeah. Cool.
Because
look who's printing our flyers.
Look who's printing all our shit for us.
Maybe for free or even at a discount or something. Yeah.
Our demo, dude, it just like if it wasn't for those guys working at Kinko's, like we would have never even been able to get the damn little sleeves printed.
Yeah.
And show fly. I mean, seriously, and
you got to figure that out. Like not everyone knows how to do that.
So I laugh about that all the time because the guy in the band working at Kinko's. It's just funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an Office Max. It was a Kinko's.
They say Kinko's in the show. Yeah.
Well, it's the Sopranos.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure that was intentional. They could have said the copy store. I work at the copy store.
Dude, I am straight up telling you, there is an episode, and it doesn't even matter. I don't even remember who it is or what it is.
Yeah.
There is an episode in like season 4 or 5 that it's like a 2-minute long scene. And the entire scene takes place in the parking lot of like a Home Depot, and you can see the Home Depot's logo in the entire shot. It's not the Home Depot. I don't remember what it is. The entire scene, you're just seeing, and it's like, dude, The Sopranos. Season 1 is not bad.
Yeah, no,
as the show goes on,
honestly, like I've started season 2 now, and I have a soft spot already for season 1. I really do.
Yeah.
There are certain aspects of season 1 that I. Honestly, I don't want to say I missed because but I kind of missed, honestly. Like season 2 is much more, it's way more serious, like right off the bat. And I'm like, I kind of missed the nonchalant, almost like laid backness of season 1. I kind of missed that.
The blissful ignorance.
Yeah.
In season 1, where
I dig it.
Where you still think they're decent people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
Like
that's true.
You still think they're decent people that have to do some bad stuff from time to time.
Yeah.
As the show goes on, you start realizing they're horrible people that have to do decent things from time to time.
Like Tony said, we're soldiers.
Right.
Soldiers are required to do things sometimes that they don't want to do.
Right. But
that's how he justifies it, anyways.
As the show goes on, you realize that that like Tony Soprano is not a good guy who has to do some bad things.
Right.
He's a bad guy who from time to time has to be nice.
He's
like,
he's a bad guy that, they all have a heart, but
don't get me wrong. Like there are characters on the show that are good people with that have to do some shitty things.
Yeah.
But there are some people that are definitely not,
Right.
All right. So again,
was it you that told me, by the way? Was this you, or I don't know if I was talking to someone else? Somebody said that they knew. Okay, this is not relevant, but anyways, the episode where Christopher is pissed off that he's not getting recognition. The one where he goes into the donut shop or whatever, and he shoots that guy in the foot. So that the heavier set guy.
Yeah.
Was that you that knew that guy?
No, I don't know him, but he becomes a main character.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay, somebody told me they knew something about that guy.
It's not that character.
Yeah,
it's
right.
That actor.
Okay.
Plays a main character. Well, no, the actor plays one of the guys in Tony's crew who becomes a captain later. It's just no spoiler. But point being, he becomes one of like Tony's main guys, and there is an entire subplot of an entire season solely based on that guy.
Okay.
And I don't want to even hint at what it is.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. It's a subplot you're not going to expect.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. In your wildest dreams, you would never have predicted this subplot.
Wow.
But he is a very, very important character of that show.
Wow.
But yet, because trust me, if he was, it had to have been a different person. First of all, because they say his name and it's not right. But the other thing is too, if he was a connected guy, he would have stopped Christopher. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Even if he wasn't a made guy yet,
you can tell. Yeah, you can tell he knew nothing. He's like, oh fuck, I don't want to be here right now.
He was just someone that they just recast. They totally recast him, and it's the type of thing that you would never notice,
right,
until you rewatch the show.
Yeah, like if you hadn't have told me, honestly, I doubt I would have ever noticed. The first time.
You'll. Has he been on the? I don't know how far you are, and
where are you? Seen him. Let's see.
How far are you in actually watching the show?
I'm like season 2 for sure. Let's see, season 2. Oh shit, how far? I got pretty far in season 2. I'm gonna have to check. I'm pretty far in. No shit. I think I finished season 2. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. I can help you out there.
I finished season 2, but it was like a month ago.
Do you remember? I'll just give you, and again, we'll talk about this episode when we get there.
Yeah.
Do you remember when? So, Beansy, right? He got the shit kicked out of him. And do you remember when 2 guys went to Beansy's house and they were gonna build a ramp for him to get in his house?
Yeah.
That's the fat guy.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's the same actor.
Yeah, they show up and they're like, oh. They're like, we don't want you here, and they're like, we're gonna build this ramp.
And every time I watch that, I'm so jealous that he can do that like big whistle.
I can't do it either.
I can't do it either.
But I have never understood how people make the sound.
It's cool if you can do it with your fingers, but when you can just do it like I
can't do it with my fingers.
the guys, it's a trick I always wished I could do.
Me too. I know. Me too. I've always had weird little things like that where everyone could do but me.
So it is.
So another thing I do like about, and maybe you agree, there are like another thing I do like about this episode is I do like the Tony moments. I think the Tony moments are really good.
It's rare to find a bad Tony moment.
That's true. That's true. So that's, I think, what I appreciate about it the most. The rest I could take or leave. Like where Tony is starting to try to hang out with normal people and realizes that he can't.
Right.
I kind of like that, where he's hanging out with the doctor, Dr. Cucimano's Cusimano's friends, and they're all kind of rich assholes basically, and they kind of treat Tony like he's an idiot, and and I do kind of like that.
Well, and when people like what's it like,
what's it like?
They enjoy
that part is very realistic. I mean, we would all be like that. we would all ask those dumbass questions. I would, you would.
The dumbass questions are funny.
Yeah.
The absolutely like elite. It's all
like,
funny.
Probably my favorite part about the episode is where Tony, the one guy, talks about John Gotti, and he goes, "Did you know John Gotti?" And Tony, he sits there and thinks about it for a second, like, okay, what can I say? So he tells them the lamest story ever. He's like, but he tells it in like this serious voice, like, oh, I'm going to tell him how he wants to hear. Like, so they auctioned off these ice cream trucks, and John Gotti wanted one. I wanted one too. John Gotti outbid me. And they're looking at him like, okay, where's the cool part? And then he finishes it by going, so he gave me a ride home, tooted that horn all the way home. And they're just like,
was that the episode? Was that the episode where Tony was like, he tells them he has a package he needs to hold on to for a little while?
That is, I think, the next one. Yeah, because he's like, I'm gonna fuck with him now because now that's
Godfather
me.
too.
Yeah,
that's straight Godfather too.
Yeah,
is where that comes from. Is Godfather?
Yeah, because he's like, they're fucking with me. I'm gonna fuck with him back a little bit.
It's that shit kills me.
Yeah.
All right. So next episode, nobody knows anything. This is this is where the cop tells Tony that Pussy's wearing a wire.
Oh man, this is where shit starts to get intense.
Dude, yeah.
These last 3 episodes are heavy.
When they're at the bathhouse.
Yeah.
And Paulie's like, take off your fucking clothes.
Yeah. That shit was tense, man.
That scene is fucking hilarious though.
It is hilarious, but it's
Doctor said no heat.
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
So anyone watching this probably knows already more, but what were your thoughts when that was happening right then and there? Were you like, what did you think? Did you think Pussy was guilty, or do you think they were wrong?
Okay.
Because they already had shit going on with Pussy, but Tony thought it was a mistake. So they were over it, and then Pussy pulls this stunt. So how did you feel?
In the shit story that is my life, I did not watch this show when it first aired.
No,
you
weren't far off.
It was only a couple of years. It was a couple of years later.
Yeah,
right.
2003, 2, something like that.
I had just started watching this show. Just started watching the fucking show.
Yeah,
and I'm a few episodes in, and I was talking to someone about it. I was like, yeah. It's like, I'm starting to watch The Sopranos. They're like, oh, yeah, you like the show? I was like, it's fucking great. I'm like, dude, Paulie's great. Big Pussy's fucking great.
There was talk about the show from day one. People were talking.
Well, right. But I was like, dude, this show is fucking great. I'm like, you got Paulie's awesome, Big Pussy's awesome. They're like, yeah, man, I couldn't believe when I found out he was a rat. I was like, fuck.
Oh no.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Like, I'm saying this now because you clearly
I've had one of those moments already, and I've already told you this. I'm not going to say it until we talk about it. I'll tell you, but I'm trying to etch it out of my mind.
Right. Okay. And maybe I shouldn't have just said that on
here.
No,
you're fine. No.
I think on here is enough of.
Yeah. No. Like I said, anyone watching this probably has already seen it.
This is 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a little different than when the show was only a couple of years old.
Yeah.
When the show was still on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that stings. That stings so bad,
dude.
Though.
What's funny is I have stopped watching things for less spoilers than that.
Yeah.
like if you want to seriously piss me off, spoil something for me. Like I don't even like watching fucking previews. Like I don't like reading a synopsis. Like I don't like that shit.
No.
And
I just need to know enough that I'm interested, and that's it. That's
here's what's funny is, despite the fact that I don't consider myself a passive viewer, this is weird. Where like I'm asked all the time, like in a movie with like The Usual Suspects. I'll give you an example. Have you seen The Usual Suspects?
Yeah.
Fantastic movie. The Kaiser movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
That is the kind of movie where people will go, "Oh, did you figure it out?" And I go, "No."
Right.
Why didn't you figure it out? Because I wasn't thinking about it.
Right.
Like
I'm that way too.
As odd as it sounds,
I'm that way too.
When I'm watching a show like that,
No, I'm the same way.
I'm not trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you're not trying to solve the crime. What I think a lot of people like to do with with shows like that, they get off, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but they get off kind of on like, I figured it out before the plot unrolled it. You know.
Cool.
Yeah, I figured out when it's told me, when it's told, when it happens. Yeah, I'm not an investigator while I'm watching the show. I shut my brain off, and I want to live. I want to be in the the mind of the characters. I'm the same way.
It's very odd that how rare it is that I try to figure out who did it. I just don't. I don't know why I don't.
And I get that mindset. I'm sure it's really fun for people.
Well, that's a part of it too.
Yeah.
At least with the pussy thing, it's revealed pretty early on that, you know what I mean? Because it's not. I don't remember what episode it is, but it's not long from now.
I think I just subconsciously wanted him to be innocent. So in my mind, at that point, I'm like, no, there's no way. They'll. And I think they did too.
But I will say, it's not that deep into the show when you start seeing him meeting with the FBI guy.
No, it's not. Yeah.
So what I mean by that is it's a reveal, but it's a pretty early on reveal.
That's true.
I'll put it this way: there's only a couple of episodes where you.
What episode was it that he first meets with the FBI? Do you remember? It was prior to this. Was prior to this episode.
Well,
right?
No.
I think I think they were kind of vague about it at first, though. When he meets, I think they were kind of vague.
I don't know. I would have to.
And I'll be honest too.
Okay, no. It's
season
okay.
1.
No. Okay, I'm looking at season 2. So
no, you're too late. You're too late.
No. It very well might have been like the first episode of season 2. Like it's not far from then.
Okay.
Like,
and I'll say this too. I'm kind of dumb sometimes. When he first meets up with the FBI, I thought that guy was another gangster.
Well, that you're supposed to.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm starting to feel like, did I read that wrong? Okay.
No. But they.
I was like, this guy's clearly a mobster.
They pick a guy who
could
pass off as one.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought he was like a New York guy. I was like, oh, this is probably one of those New York guys.
Do you remember later? And again, I know we're talking about later, but when they meet the Elvis guy,
yes,
Pussy goes, "This is a friend of ours."
Yeah.
Remember, it's okay. So it's gangster lingo that they don't explain on The Sopranos, but they explain on Donnie Brasco. If I say you're a friend of ours, that means you're a connected guy. Or excuse me, if I say you're a friend of mine, that means you're a connected guy. If I say a friend of ours, that means you're a made guy.
Oh, I did not know that.
A friend of mine means he's connected to me. He works with me. But if he's a friend of ours, then that means he's a made guy. He's
so lower, higher. Okay.
Yeah. One would mean they're not in the mafia, but they're working with me.
Yeah, you're not made yet. Okay.
Right. But if you're a friend of ours, you're made. So when he says he's a friend of ours,
okay,
it's understood like, oh, you're cool then.
So I didn't know that at all.
You know the handshake. They explain it in the movie Donnie Brasco, or in the book I'm pretty sure this. I read the book.
I've seen the movie, but it's been a long time. It's
a great movie. It's a great movie. And actually, it's a movie that I recommend anybody watching. Like if you're watching The Sopranos, right? Like you should probably have seen The Godfather. Yeah. But it's because they make a billion references to it.
Yes. I love it though.
But Donnie Brasco explains a few things that you just don't pick up. And it's the friend of mine, friend of ours thing that you might not, pick up. No, so that scene in the bathhouse is just odd. When they're gonna take us fits, which is
So at that point, I still thought I was like, no, there's no way. I think they're wrong. I think Pussy's, I think he's fine. They're wrong about it. But this is a pretty important episode, I would say,
Oh, absolutely.
Other than that, and then you also have, let's see, you also have, what's his name? The detective dies, suicide, right?
Yeah, right. Kills himself.
I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, so he kills himself, and he's the one that told Tony that he's like, yeah, Pussy is he's a informant, and then So he dies, and Tony was like, okay, he was wrong. He must have mistaken Pussy for this other guy. What was that guy's name?
Jimmy Altieri.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Jimmy.
So they end up going and they kill Jimmy.
They kill Jimmy because it's
I didn't anyways, but whatever.
and it's
they killed the wrong guy.
And Tony knows it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't believe it.
Right.
He knows it. Tony knows it's pussy. He knows it's pussy.
He knows it's pussy because
he might not. Let me put it this way.
I think he does.
I think he's
not right away, but soon, very soon.
He knows long before he's willing to admit it to himself, and I think even at this point he knows. Yeah. But killing Jimmy sucks.
Yeah,
because Jimmy was a captain, but Tony, whatever.
Yeah.
Killing Jimmy compared to killing his best friend,
right? I think maybe Tony was thinking. Maybe we can sweep this under the rug, and maybe Pussy will come back to us. Maybe it'll work out.
Or maybe we're lucky and it's not.
Yeah, or maybe because they weren't 100%.
Well, I'll put it this way: if it was Jimmy, good, they killed him.
Right.
If it wasn't Jimmy, maybe this scares Pussy off. I mean,
yeah, you're right. Maybe Pussy will scare him straight.
If you're playing the long game, unless you know it's Pussy, and if you don't know it's Pussy, killing Jimmy actually, chess move, right?
Yeah.
I would give you a good chess analogy, but I suck ass at that game. But you get what I'm saying? Like it's they sacrifice Jimmy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I hadn't thought about it that way.
It's smart. It is smart.
Yeah,
because if it was Jimmy, he's gone.
Yep.
But,
and he knows it's when so Pussy comes back. He's gone for like a month, right?
Yeah.
He's just gone. Doesn't tell anybody where he's been. So obviously Tony's pissed off, even though he loves Pussy. He's like, you don't do that to us, know. And like so. This when Tony realizes, I think when he calls Pussy over, they go down to his basement, and then Pussy asks him a suspicious question. So Tony's like, that right then and there, he's like 90% sure. He says something about something about money, right? Like, what are you going to do about this or whatever? Mm-hmm. And Tony's like, you see it in his eyes. He's like, oh, fuck,
Yeah. I mean, Tony.
And we've talked about how Tony, not always the smartest guy, but sometimes he's incredibly smart.
No, he's as far as.
He caught on to that instantly. He's like, oh. And
Tony
he just changes the subject. And you remember that? He's like, let's go back upstairs.
He's like a neurosurgeon who can't tie his own shoelaces.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys. He's the kind of guy that is an absolute Einstein at what he does.
But
outside of that,
else.
He's dumb as a brick.
Yeah.
He's dumb as a brick outside of that.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he's dumb as a brick outside
I
of that.
do love the moments when you realize that, like, God damn, he's really sharp about things. Like, there's I can't remember what episode. It's not important, but like Chris is talking about robbing a FedEx truck, and Tony's like, "What the fuck are you doing that? You rob a FedEx truck on a highway. You get this charge, this, and this charge because you're in this part of town, and that's how the government works or whatever." And he like lays it out really quickly, and Chris is like, "Oh, okay, I won't do it again."
That's what I'm saying. Like he's the best he's the best in the world at what he does.
And there's a reason why he's higher up and his dad never was, like
there's a reason why he climbed the ranks so quickly, so young. Yeah. There's a reason why he's made more money than anybody.
Yeah, he's got the nicest house.
He's the best at what he does.
Yeah.
I think there's no question he's the best at what he does. That's
in the Mafia, you don't climb by being an idiot. No. You just don't.
Well, and you can't climb by just being muscle.
You bust kneecaps. Yeah. You kill people. You beat people up. You do the dirty work.
He would do the dirty work. He was muscle.
He was.
But he could out strategize. He was that, which is why I said, like, he's like that, that world-class neurosurgeon who you would be shocked that can't figure out how to work a toaster.
It has no social skills or something.
Yeah, or whatever. Like
can't hold a conversation.
Is only good at one thing, you know? And there's nothing, I mean, whatever. Like, but Tony is the best at what he does.
Right.
No one is ever going to outplay him. Yeah. No one. Oh, and they might win one move. You know, they might take one of Tony's part or whatever pieces, but Tony's steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
But he's dumb as a brick in so many other ways.
Right.
You know, and it's like I said, it's always evident when you see him. If you ever question how dumb Tony is, listen to when he tries to say smart things to his doctor, or when he tries to take what his doctor says and say it to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anytime he gets something from Melfi and he tries to talk to other people about it, you're like, oh my God, you're you're just but he doesn't need to be.
No.
He doesn't need to be book smart.
All right.
He doesn't even need to have any common sense. He needs to be street smart.
That's what makes him such a cool character, is the dichotomy of his personality.
Yeah, I think if he was a super smart guy, it wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't. No.
Like let me give you I'll give you a random example. I've talked before about The West Wing.
Yes.
I've binged it. I just recently binged the whole series again.
And I watched that a little bit when it originally aired. I wish I'd consistently watched it, though.
I love the show, but the problem with the show, whether there are problems with every show, but the problem with The West Wing,
of course,
is Aaron Sorkin. First of all, his writing can get real annoying really quickly.
It's not for everybody. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Yeah.
It's especially hard when you watch anything else that he writes, and he realizes he uses the same phrases and everything. Screw you with your pants on and all that shit. It gets annoying. But the biggest problem with The West Wing is the president is the smartest person on the planet.
Which
he
missed
never
one. That's never the case.
He missed one question on the SATs and was so pissed off he took it again and still missed a second question and tried to inquire how they could possibly done it. Nobel Prize winning economist who will interrupt you. He will interrupt you mid-sentence and telling you you're using a verb the wrong way.
Yeah, maybe this is Aaron Sorkin's wishful thinking.
No, it totally is. But my point is,
and I appreciate that,
when you're watching and all the people that work for him are like the smartest people in the entire world. Yeah. And it's a different game when it's nothing against those characters, but it's when you're watching someone who is the smartest person in the entire world be smart, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
If Tony Soprano was conventionally intelligent,
it'd be weird.
It would just be like, so what? So you outsmarted someone.
Yeah. It'd be weird. I'd be like, of course you did. You're basically Batman,
the president, on The West Wing, the president was a New Hampshire Bartlett, meaning his family landed, his family was on the Mayflower.
Comes from a long line of successful, smart people.
He was super rich and
genetics too.
Had an IQ of 200. I mean, it's one of those okay.
Yeah.
So the fact that they didn't write Tony as a super smart guy, I mean, I know we did a semester and a half at Seton Hall.
I was just gonna say, don't forget about his semester and a half at what's it called?
It's just better. Well, no, and also Tony is street smart enough to also know he needs people smarter than him around him, and Silvio's smarter than he is. Maybe he has.
Paulie's pretty smart too.
Paulie's very smart.
They're all smarter than they look.
I don't think Paulie went past the 9th grade. I think he mentions that somewhere where I only went through the 9th grade. But I mean, he was in the Army, right? He was smart enough to
left us a comment here.
yeah. Sorry, dude.
Sorry, Rick. I wish we hadn't broke your heart.
And my old joke that I used to say was, people always ask where would you go during the zombie apocalypse? And I always say I'd hide out in the White House because zombies go where there's brains and there's certainly none there. And by the way, I use that same joke regardless of who's in office.
Right, because it's that could go. That you could use that joke for decades and decades.
Doesn't matter. The last president I liked was Calvin Coolidge, so it's been 100 years. He stopped being. He hasn't been president since 1929. You know.
Yeah.
January of 1929 was when he stopped being president. We got Hoover. Oh, by the way, speaking of like little funny, there was a bar. I'm a trivia junkie, you know. And I know you know that. And there was a bar in town, and that I'd never been to.
Oh, did you play one of those cool trivia games?
Well, here's what's funny is
those are fun. I like them.
Two friends of mine, they messaged me and they're like, we used to have a trivia team, right? And it was myself and a bunch of professors. It was not fair, but our trivia name, I named our team.
Oh, back when you were
a friend of mine and I started our own trivia team. We named ourselves the Aristocrats after the joke, specifically after after the. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Bob Saget Aristocrats joke.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I was a big Saget fan, actually.
So the Aristocrats is the dirtiest joke ever told, and Bob Saget told the dirtiest version of the dirtiest joke ever told.
Oh man!
I named our team the Aristocrats anyway. More people added onto our team, and they're like, I always thought it was hilarious because I'm like, I have a whole bunch of people that would be offended by the joke on a team.
Oh, absolutely,
that, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, so my friend and they're a couple, and they messaged me. They're like, hey. There's a bar in town doing President's Day trivia. And I was like, well, it's not on President's Day. It was a couple days later. And they're like, no. It's like presidential trivia. They're like, do you want to be on our team? I said, well, I don't know. Do you want to win? I was half joking. So anyway, yeah. So they had a President's Day trivia last week at this little bar. And I think I'm never going back because it was bad. Like it was so bad. I mean, like oh, no. I looked at the host and I said, I'm going to do this as soon as the game starts, but I want to do this in front of you so you know I'm not looking this up. And I wrote all the presidents down in order, right? I mean, I don't think I'm the only person who can do that. I think a lot of people can do that, but I wrote all the presidents down.
I could not, but yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
But what I said was, I'm like, I'm doing this because I want it for reference later.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, it was things like, dude, I'm not bragging. It's just because I'm a big damn nerd.
Right.
And I love U.S. history. And
I'm
keep up on. I'm a campaign junkie. And like, I love that. I'm not into politics. Like I could care less what's going on in politics. I love campaigns and I love that stuff. But no, it would be like there was a question. I'm gonna get the number wrong, but it doesn't matter. On New Year's Day, 1907, this president set the record for shaking 8,135 hands or something.
Jesus.
And I said, "What were they president at the time?" And she repeated the question. I went, "Well, that's easy." I'm like, it's. I don't have to know the answer to the question. I know Teddy Roosevelt was president in 1907, so easy.
Yeah, if you gave the year away, then it's
right. That's
what
I'm saying. Like you give me the year.
Yeah,
you know, 1858. Like, well, that's easy. That's Buchanan. You know,
I have a flawed question.
Well, what I'm saying, but again, though, most people in the bar aren't going to hear 1858 and be like, oh, that's James A. Buchanan.
True.
You know.
I'd be willing to bet not more than maybe one or two.
Yeah, it was dumb shit. But anyway, I'm just throwing this out. I felt real bad. I'm like, sorry. Now, I mean, my team was helpful because what they told us they would do is that they would look up like goofy facts.
Yeah.
So admittedly, like I would have won by myself, but that's because we didn't have none of the other teams were any good. But admittedly, the teammates that I had were great about looking up the goofy shit. Like this president owned 15 dogs or whatever. Like cool. Like I didn't know that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I told them, I'm like, you know,
they're
like
supposed to be hard questions.
Well, no, but like what two presidents died July 4th, 1826. I'm like, well, that's easy. It's John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died exactly 50 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Or like, what president was only president for 32 days? I'm like, oh, it's William Henry Harrison. You know, like I knew the historical ones, but luckily, it was awesome. Like they got a handful of it just straight up like goofy ass ones,
which is cool. You gotta try to stump people with stuff like that.
But absolutely, like I when we had our trivia team that did really well, like it was not fair. Like I was in a trivia team full of like PhDs. So like the one guy had a PhD in chemistry, one had a PhD in poetry. but no, seriously, you'd get a whole like the topic of this round is medieval poets, and they're going.
I shouldn't be laughing at a guy that has a PhD and I don't. But
well, no. What I'm saying is it sounds weird, but then you're like, oh, a guy with a PhD in poetry in a trivia team. There you go.
I have a friend that I went to high school with. She's got a PhD and she's a flute player, but she's got a PhD, a flautist. Yeah, but she's like pretty famous, really.
Did you ever? But I want to get back on the Sopranos. But sorry, the little thing. It just reminded me of that story. Did you ever see? I'm a big Jethro Tull fan. I think you like him. I think you like Jethro Tull too.
I do. Yeah.
Did you ever see that? There's a quote from Ian Anderson where he said he is the absolute greatest flute player in rock music and the absolute worst flute player in rock music because he's the only one.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the only one, so I'm the best and the worst. Awesome.
He was. It's true. Yeah, that guy is. Guy's fucking awesome. He's a brilliant man, actually.
Oh God. I mean, look, man, they're not a band that I can tell you I'm all that familiar with their whole discography because it's huge.
I'm getting there. I'm
not. It's like
I'm not either.
It's like saying you celebrate the entire collective works of Frank Zappa. Like it's just too much.
Oh Jesus!
You know what I mean?
I know a few people like that. And it's
I know.
I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Okay. All right. So back on topic. Sorry.
Yeah. I just realized I said something wrong too. I realized that. So Pussy's not the guy that went to visit Tony, where Tony. And said the sketchy thing. That was not Pussy. That was Jimmy. Jimmy goes and visits Tony and asks him the question, "What are we going to do about this money or whatever?" And Tony's like, "Oh, we're going to go upstairs."
Tony gets on the phone and he's like, "It's fucking Jimmy."
Yeah.
On the phone, or he said
I totally fucked that up. Yeah,
that's that. You're right. That's why I was blanking. But no, that's when.
So he's still pissed at
Jimmy.
He's pissed at Pussy, but he's more believing now that it's Jimmy, not Pussy.
Right. Well, because he doesn't want to think it's Pussy.
No.
So next up is an episode.
Isabella.
Isabella's okay.
It's okay.
It's not a great episode. It has its moments, right? The whole story about Isabella, the Italian exchange student, like
it's Tony's taken the what was he taking that made him hallucinate? Which
was it? Lithium?
No. Yeah,
was it lithium that made him.
Which that does work because that has happened. So not the best episode still.
That's what she's like. Stop taking the lithium.
Yeah. Man, lithium's a serious. Oh boy, I haven't taken it, but I know people that have. So not the greatest episode. Yeah, you got Isabella, the exchange student that Tony. It turns out is a hallucination. He goes to lunch with her and all this stuff, and she's like the super hot Italian girl. And what else? I could have gone without that for the most part.
There are very few exceptions on the show of a girl on the show not being hot and Italian.
Yeah,
there are a few.
Oh God! Oh,
as much as I like Janice, I wouldn't put her in a centerfold.
No.
Actually, I absolutely love Janice as a character.
I didn't at first, but she grew on me.
All hell.
Yeah, at first I was like, "Oh no, oh no."
My second favorite line of the entire show is because of Janice.
She's got a lot of good lines.
She doesn't say it, but it's because I will just say this now because it's unimportant to anything. There's an episode in the show later on. It must be Easter or something. They're having dinner. And Janet's boyfriend, out of nowhere, just goes, "Have you heard the good news? He is risen." Like, it's the dumbest shit. It's just he is risen. And like the whole room just goes, the room goes silent.
I love those moments in this show.
And what's funny about it is, I don't know if I can pull this up. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it here.
You talking about, when you say Janice's boyfriend, are you talking about what's his name?
No. Random character later on.
Oh, okay.
There's a random character later on. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe see that picture.
Yes.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
I was in Walmart today, and a really good friend. And dude, this is a joke that's been going on for 15 plus years. I have a really good friend of mine, and she absolutely, she's as Italian as they come, and she absolutely loves The Sopranos.
Oh, you told me
And
about
I
her.
will, dude, I just randomly text her. I'll do this all the time. Have you heard the good news? And she'll text me back. He has risen. So I was literally in Walmart today, and I saw that, and I messaged it for him like, dude, I want to get this for you so bad.
Hey, maybe one of these days, maybe we can get her on here too, and she can join us for like one episode.
She would love it. I'll talk to her if she could.
Yeah.
She would love it.
Any episode. She can even pick if she wants.
I'll ask her.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Laura. Her name's Laura. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's hilarious too.
Yeah, you told me. I forgot.
She's absolutely hilarious. I went to college with her for I want to say freshman year. I don't think sophomore. I think it was just freshman year, and then she transferred to a different college. But oh yeah, God, she's a trip. I'll ask her. I'll ask her tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it'd be great to have her on. Anyway, sorry, just random.
So it's funny. This episode is like half unimportant, and then it's half very important.
Right.
Like this has one of the most infamous scenes in Sopranos history, I'm told. Keep in mind, I've only seen 2 seasons, but from people that I know, the end of this episode is like one of the most important, or at least fan favorite scenes from the entire show.
Which one?
Which is we're still in Isabella. Am I wrong? This is the episode where the 2 assassins come after Tony.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's like, I knew about that episode years ago because people would like send it to me and stuff. So I always assume that's like a fan favorite scene. I love it too, but I didn't mean to jump ahead. But
no. Well, that's the important part of the episode.
Yeah, it is really. The rest is kind of unimportant. But so the Junior sends Junior and who else? Junior. Who else is responsible? Is it Junior's guy? Mikey. Yeah, Mikey actually is mostly responsible for this, but convinces Junior that they should kill Tony.
Yeah.
And they send the assassins after him, and that's just a fucking great. I watch that scene on YouTube all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It's funny. The reason I wasn't entirely sure what you were getting at is like, I
had forgotten that was this episode.
I have my Sopranos moments.
Yeah.
That I think of all the time. Did I send you a picture of a tattoo I saw the other day that
that was awesome.
Fucking blew. Had you seen that episode yet?
Refresh me, which episode was it?
No, I don't know what fucking episode it was. But
okay.
I
just remember laughing.
I saw a picture of a guy who has a picture of Tony holding a carton of orange juice, and it says, "I like less pulp."
So actually, now that you mention that, I'm not sure if I've seen that episode.
It's a pointless.
I've seen him drink orange juice a lot. I thought maybe I missed it.
It is an unimportant, pointless. It's just a moment of the show.
Yeah.
But point being, he gets in a fight with Carmela over. She bought heavy pulp orange juice, and he wants low pulp orange juice. And someone literally got a tattoo of Tony holding the orange juice.
I like some pulp.
The orange juuse says heavy pulp, and the caption is like, I like less pulp, or I like some pulp. And I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, I love like random little moments in shows. You know what I mean? I love those little things. And so the show is filled with those little moments, and the show is filled with like mega scenes. Yeah. Oddly enough, that one never makes my list of like great or important or
oh really?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
There are a handful of things that I quote from the show like, all the time.
Yeah.
There are scenes that I always remember and characters I always remember. But I get pretty hung up on seasons 2 through 4. Where seasons 3 and 4 are my favorite by a long shot, and it's entirely because of one character who's not on the show yet.
Oh, yeah.
It is entirely because of one character. I'll put it this way: as much as Richie makes season 2, there's a character in seasons 3 and 4 that is Richie times 1,000. No, seriously, he's Richie times 1,000. He's a bigger dick bag and a way
Richie
more.
A pretty intense guy.
The absolute best character in the history of this show is on season 3 and 4. And when you get to season 3, he'll open his mouth one time and you'll know.
I'll be like, all right, it's on.
That's the guy Chris likes.
It's on.
But yeah, so you had this episode's great. I mean, what a cool.
How do you feel about, like, because I had very conflicting feelings. How do you feel about Junior sending guys after Tony, his nephew? You know?
Well, it's because Tony's mom played him.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's true. Because then,
see,
he felt he had to do it, right? It was important.
The difference. This is why Tony
and Mikey influenced him too.
This is why Tony is more successful than Junior.
It's true. Yeah.
There was a time when Tony thought he needed to kill Junior, but Tony was too smart for that.
Yeah.
Junior got outplayed by Tony's mother.
Yeah.
Tony's mother.
And plus Mikey was telling him that he's convinced Tony is an informant. But that didn't seem to be all of it, though.
But no, but it was not. It wasn't Mikey.
That's
Junior
true.
Didn't put that much stock in Mikey.
Well, because Tony's mom basically puts it in Junior's brain that they're talking behind his back about shit.
Well, it's Tony's mom is pissed off about being put in a nursing home.
Yeah,
that is why as soon as they start talking to her, conveniently, her she doesn't remember anything now.
Mm-hmm.
She
have dementia.
She feigns ignorance completely. She knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
Tony's mother but again, she straight up played Junior because she knew she could.
Yeah, because he listens to her.
Junior, but we talked about this a little bit ago. Yeah. Why does Tony live in a mansion and Junior lives in a neighborhood house?
A regular old neighborhood, yeah.
Now look, I realize he's
a cheap bastard too, but still,
I realize that, and I realize,
but still,
he eventually starts having like legal issues, and I get that.
Yeah,
but dude, Junior doesn't have kids. Junior, look at how much money even Christopher has at this point.
Yeah,
you know, Christopher's living in a small apartment.
Living in an apartment, yeah.
But dude, there is a reason why Junior is not taken seriously by anybody.
Right.
There's it's because he's not smart.
Right.
Junior,
he thinks he is, but
he thinks he is.
Yeah.
But Junior's old school, and he's done a lot.
He's an old ass man,
but he's done a lot, and he's been around, and he's an important figure, and Junior deserves respect.
Yeah.
But he deserves respect.
The fact that he's still alive and he's not sitting in prison
he's
in
earned,
his 70s.
He's earned his spot. He's earned it. Yeah. It is unquestionable that Junior has earned it.
Yeah.
But he's not smart. And
no.
Livia played him.
Yep.
Absolutely played him.
Yeah.
Livia, it was her. It was 100% her. It was she tries to have and Melfi, I don't know, at one point. Melfi.
That's true, because like when Mikey badmouths Tony to Junior, Junior doesn't really take him serious. He's like, fuck off, dude. I can think for myself, you know, like.
But Livia.
Yeah. But Livia, yeah, it's different.
Dude, she was married to
his brother,
you know,
and they were so super close, you know.
Johnny brothers. Boy Soprano, you know, she was you know, but yeah, no, it was 100% Livia. And that's why she now all of a sudden doesn't remember anything.
Yeah.
Go her, right?
Yeah, which I was super bummed about that, because I actually liked Livia up until that point. And now I'm like, well, I can't like you now. Now you're almost a villain at this point.
Oh no, she's absolutely a villain. Yeah, no,
yeah.
She's
so that bummed me out. I didn't want to. I didn't want to see that.
You don't like making the whole like Tony is a dickbag because of his mother.
Yeah.
But Tony is a dickbag because of his mother.
Yep.
I mean, like, and I think we've said this before though. The way Livia abused Tony throughout his life made Tony be as successful as he is.
Right. It's true.
It's why his ego is huge. It's why he's so ruthless. It's why he's so conniving. I mean, he learned it from her. He didn't learn it from his dad. He learned a lot.
His dad was never around, you know.
Well, they weren't close. He was in Montana playing cowboy.
You know, yeah. He didn't. Him and his dad didn't really have a lot of much of a relationship.
I don't know. See, that's what I'm thinking. If someone told me your dad's in Montana playing cowboy, I'm thinking he's gay. But you know,
Yeah. Like, oh, okay.
Like, what are you trying to tell me, Mom?
So assless chaps cowboy.
Yeah, right. What do you mean by playing cowboy?
Yeah, playing cowboy.
Oh man.
But yeah, I didn't enjoy having to change my opinion on Livia because I liked her, but hey, I'm going with it. I'm going with it.
It's still one of the most incredible acting jobs on this show.
It is. She's great. She's great character.
She's so good.
She's a great actor.
I mean, being likable on screen is one thing.
Yeah.
But it takes talent to be hated the way she is. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I always use the like my like when you talk about like an actor playing a role that makes you hate them, right?
Yeah.
My benchmark is the warden in The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh God.
You hate him.
Yeah.
And when he blows his brains out, you're clapping.
Yeah.
You are. And Clancy Brown is a piece of shit in that movie, but it's Clancy Brown.
He's a great actor. He's an amazing. It's hard to not
like Clancy Brown. That's a fucking problem, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's amazing.
Even him, you're like, well, he's a shithead, but I like him because it's Clancy Brown. By the way, one of the best video games I ever played is a game called Detroit Become Human. One of the best video games I've ever played in my entire life. And Clancy Brown plays a character in it. It is fucking we'll talk about that later. Seriously, best fucking game ever. But no, so to me, it's like if the warden, well, and the one guy in the Green Mile is a good example too. But I always use the
other guy,
in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
If like there is a guy who you want him to die, when he blows his brains out, you're happy about it.
Yes.
So absolutely, to me, that's the benchmark, right?
Yeah.
And in this, I think Tony's mother, I mean, she's brilliant actress.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Which
I had forgotten about some stuff about this episode too. You might have to refresh me. Like, I don't remember. Let's see here. Well, first of all, this part is cool. Involving the hit on Tony. There's the part where Chris parks his car in their way and not even knowing who they were. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, he gets in an argument.
Yeah, he's like, they're like, get the fuck out of the way. He's like, oh, really? You're gonna talk like that to me? And then later on, he realizes, he's like, oh, fuck.
Which is why doesn't that happen like a day before?
Yeah, they're scoping him out or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So that part's kind of important. And then I also forgot about so who's the contractor that Junior has assassinated? It's the contractor jokes about Livia being responsible, and Junior has I think Mikey kill him.
Let me think.
I'm drawing a blank on that part. I can read it verbatim for you. This is what Wiki says: is when the contractor jokes about Livia being responsible for the hit, Junior has Palmise, which is Mikey, right? Mikey Palmise. Yeah, kill him. And then that's the day before the hitman going after Tony. I don't remember that part.
Why am I blanking on who that is?
What contractor? I can't remember who the contractor even was. Oops. But I do love the assassination attempt scene. I know I already said it a bunch of times. Especially I just love how like Tony, because I can't remember, it might have been going on for an episode or two, but Tony's like super depressed. He's sleeping all day, wearing sweatpants and stuff, and I just love how he gets out of the assassination not even being ready for it. I don't even think he had his gun with him. He's like wearing sweats and shit, going and buying his orange juice, and I think that's a badass scene. The dudes come for him. The one guy kills the other by accident, and I love that scene. I just think it's so cool.
It's when he comes in, he's like, no, that's not it either. No, I'm looking like episode. I'd have to just go.
It might not be super important, but it kind of bothers me that I can't remember it. But
yeah,
my memory is definitely not as good as it was.
Yeah, no, I just don't remember because it was if I'm not mistaken, it's just pretty unimportant.
Yeah, it might not be super important, but
right. Okay, Donnie. Okay, I got the characters. Oh, just
oh,
yeah, you got this one. It's hold on, I'll send you a picture. This is no help to anybody watching, but that guy.
At least we know. That fucking guy.
Donnie
Paduana.
When you see his picture, you'll go, "Oh, that guy." All right.
Donnie.
It doesn't matter, basically.
Okay, yeah, that guy is just like a low dirtbag. That's right. Okay, now I remember the scene.
I had to see his picture too.
He's with Mikey or whatever, and they pull up to they're shit talking or whatever, and then Mikey's like, "Oh yeah," or whatever. I can't remember. Shoots him in the head. Shoots him in the head.
Oh yeah, because he's like, did you hear that his own mother tried to have him whacked? There you go. Yeah. Okay, that's exactly.
So that guy was a low guy, anyways. So
it was a no. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. I remember the scene now. I had to see his picture.
Right, so Tony survives the assassination attempt, and that got him out of his depression.
Oh yeah, well,
because it excited him.
There's nothing better to get out of depression than to get pissed off. You know what I mean? Like,
so he kind of needed it. It helped him.
You got to think about it, right? Depression's kind of like a downer. Being pissed off is kind of like an upper.
Yeah, it gets your blood pumping, and
I've had that happen it's myself. Like, and by the way, your friend that posted about the White House earlier. By the way, I'm totally jealous of the screen name, The Dreadful Minutes.
I know. I figured you'd get that.
I'm totally jealous of that. But what I was going to say is it's kind of like, you're listening to My Dying Bride, and then all of a sudden, like, you turn on Vulgar Display of Power. You know what I mean? Like, like, I'm serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta wait.
Kind of changes your mood a little bit,
because like My Dying Bride's like one of my top 10 favorite bands of all time. I don't know. Yeah. I don't make a list because I couldn't, but let's just say top 10.
I will never even attempt because that'll just give me a headache.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but they're clearly one of my favorite bands of all time. And
me too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he goes from super depressed to super fucking pissed. So
and he even tells Melfi about it.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know if he tells her everything because he can't tell her everything. I don't know how he worked, but that is what happened. I can't remember how he words it, but he tells her about it more or less.
So
that's the next episode.
Yep. So the next episode is the last one of the episode, and then we'll end here, and then we'll start season 2 next week.
Last episode of season 1.
And by the way, I throw this out like I told you last week. I'm like, dude, I went to bed and forgot we do this. I'm gonna make it a habit to try to like, and you reminding me helps too.
Hey Evan, we're talking about. I mean, unfortunately, we only have one more to talk about. We're talking about we just started episode 13 of season 1.
The season finale of season 1.
Season 1 finale, yeah.
Which
you made it.
Cool.
You made it in time for that.
Well, what's cool though is that means next week we get to start in with the Richie season.
Yeah. Oh man.
In my head,
about Richie.
Season 2 is the Richie season.
Yes, absolutely.
Seasons 3 and 4 are the. I just don't want to tell you who my favorite character is because I want you to just be.
You want me to guess? You want me to guess?
Because you won't have to guess. So just know. You'll be like, oh, dude, there you. That's but no, it's the Richie season, which I love the Richie season. See, okay, a lot of people like season 2. I'm a season 3 and 4 guy. I don't know which one particularly over the other. Probably 3. I'm probably. I'd have to.
I don't have one yet.
I'd have to crack it. Season 3 and 4. Like there's season 1, then there's 2. Seasons 3 and 4 blend together in my head as the same season.
Okay.
Season 2 is great though. And Richie, honestly, Richie just really good. Rules. But and anyway, and he plays a rabbi on the West Wing.
Oh no shit, the Richie does. Oh,
yeah, it's great. It's great. And well, he's in.
He's a good actor. He's a very good
actor. He's in Shawshank too.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I haven't seen that movie. It is one. I love that movie, but I haven't seen it in 20 years.
There's that old thing where it's like, when he talks about getting out of prison, like, oh, because he was in Shawshank,
Okay.
He has like one line, but he's in it.
He's a very recognizable guy.
You only notice him like when they're like eating. He has like one line. Anyway,
if somebody were to tell me he's Al Pacino's brother, I'd be like, yep, I believe that.
God, he's so awesome.
He looks just like Al Pacino.
So here we go. So we get to the last episode, right? And I'm looking at Wikipedia too.
It helps jog my memory.
Reminder,
I always pull it up too, or else I'm gonna miss something.
Melfi says that Livia has borderline personality disorder, which is probably true.
Probably true, but Tony did not want to hear that. Because at this point, he's still kind of protecting his mom. Not for much longer. Not for much longer. Actually, this is about the tail end of him protecting his mom, I should say.
Yeah,
he's pretty over her.
Yeah, he's over her at this point.
But he still gets really pissed off at Melfi for saying that, though. She says that, and he gets he's really fucking pissed. He almost attacks her.
Don't bitch to me.
Yeah, he almost
the Furio. Don't bitch to me.
So Furio.
My favorite Furio line is "Don't bitch to me."
Yeah, Evan, I've only season 2. I just finished like a month ago, but I haven't gone further than that. So I have seen Furio.
Furio.
Interesting character. Does he become a more prominent character?
He doesn't become any more interesting, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I don't think he ever becomes more interesting.
He's always just kind of like he's just a muscle guy that beats people up.
Furio,
Yeah.
He becomes, but really, no, not much.
Okay.
Great character.
Yeah, I like him.
Okay, so Tony tells Melfi to go into hiding.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't like.
No. Can you blame her?
who fucking would, right?
Yeah, thanks for ruining my life.
But she's only been warned about 100,000 times from everybody that cares about her.
Oh yeah, of course. But this is Tony warning her though this time, so she takes it a little more serious.
But what I'm getting at is though, at this point, Tony says you're going into hiding or you're going to get killed, right?
Yeah.
In complete defense, while that sucks shit for Melfi, every single person that cares for Melfi has told her you're putting yourself in danger.
Yep.
She is. I love what I love about the Melfi thing.
She's starting to have some problems.
Well,
or she's always had them, but they're escalating now.
Part of at the beginning, it's her being the good doctor.
Yeah.
Treat the patient, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to remember, she's not a therapist; she's a psychiatrist, which by the way is really weird that she's a therapist because psychiatrists normally are just right through.
They normally don't do one-on-one.
They're not really the therapist.
Stuff.
They're the one who signs her prescriptions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she is a doctor, meaning she will, the Hippocratic Oath, I will do no harm. I will charge you money. That's what
she feels a duty.
Right.
But she can't turn Tony down.
She also, what's a good word for it? It's part fascination, right?
Yep. And she admits to that. Yep. She finds it exciting a little bit. Part
almost, I don't know a better word than to say it's almost like a fetish. And I mean, it's a wrong word.
Because look at her life her life is pretty boring.
Right. And
Tony brings her excitement,
Yeah, fetish is the wrong word because it skews.
Right. Well, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're right. You said it becomes addicted to the thrill of treating.
There you go.
That's why I said it was a fetish, which I don't.
You're not far off. You're not.
I'm aware that word means sexual, though I don't think that's completely out of the question.
No, I was going to say. I was going to say that almost. I think you're not wrong about that.
I mean, do I think Tony revolts her and turns her on at the same time? Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think
there is not a woman in the Sopranos that is not attracted to Tony too.
That's true.
Well, and let's be fair. That character in real life would be absolutely true.
Yeah,
because
he's got power. He's got money.
He's balding and he's overweight. Yeah. But dude, it's 100%. Like we can joke all day that women are attracted to power and women are attracted to money. Yes, and yes, but.
Dude, I've had a lot of women admit that shit to me.
Yeah, so but nothing.
I've had these talks before.
But nothing is more attractive than confidence.
Yeah,
him being able to walk in the room. Dude, he sees more bumper than a body shop. You know what I mean? to go airheads with that reference, but look.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not. You're not wrong at all.
I had a friend of mine who used to use the worst fucking pickup lines in the entire world,
but he delivered them with confidence. I bet you.
But it was never the pickup line. It was the fact that he had the balls to say it.
Yep.
And it's
I've had friends like that too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it worked, and I would be shocked at how well some of these were. I'm like, dude, you got it.
I used to have a cousin like that. He was an older cousin. Like he tried to take me under his wing, but I'm just not a dirtbag like he is. But yeah, he'd be like, look at me. Do I look conventionally attractive? And I would see the women that he dated. And I was like, God damn, dude.
You have to be a bit of a dirtbag. You have to like yourself more than you like her. You mean, but I mean, that's Tony. So there is no way that she's not turned on by
she absolutely
something from it.
Yeah,
and then she fights with she struggles. She absolutely struggles with it. Later on in the show, it's a different thing.
She does care about Tony too. You know that.
Well, of course, and you know.
Although he does kind of betray that confidence at times.
I think after this, when she has to go into hiding.
Yeah.
I think it's after this that she stops being. I think she stops all of this crap.
Yeah.
Pretty much after this.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is,
you're right. She does, and I kind of miss it. I'll be honest.
Once she, I mean, there's the Toodaloo episode. I think that's season 2.
It is early season 2.
Yeah, Toodle fucking ooh, right? Where she's she's wrestling back and forth. But I think once, and whenever it happens, I don't remember at whatever point in the show, she fully takes him back and isn't wrestling with it anymore. She sets the ground, and she is straight up like, it's done. Yeah. That bullshit is done.
Yeah.
But at this point,
too much. It's too much for her.
There's but again, look, she's as vanilla as they come.
Yeah. Yeah. That's part of her charm,
When the cop from Home Alone, when he said, look, the good doctor, she goes to bed at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like she even mentioned it, like she married a super vanilla doctor way older than her. Like she's super traditional.
Yeah.
Tony gives her a lot of stuff. Tony is interesting.
Yeah.
She's attracted to Tony. She's clearly attracted to Tony.
Yeah.
She, like I said, she fetishizes all of it with yes, a hint of the sexuality, but the rest of it, it's she's fascinated. She's turned on by it. Again, not necessarily meaning, turned on by it, but she's turned on by it.
Yeah.
And how,
and she knows it. And she knows it.
Look, like when you're whatever you do, if you care about what you do for a living, that nothing is more exciting. Let's give it from a professional's perspective. Nothing is more exciting than that big project. Yeah. What was her life? What was her career up until this point? Remember her own therapist goes,
treating nobodies.
If you've gotten to this job to stop people from biting their nails or quitting smoking, then do it. And that's probably what her whole fucking job was up until this point.
Yeah.
Dealing with patients with
everyday issues.
Every day or severe issues that are textbook severe issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she's done it over and over again.
Someone might have severe whatever, right?
Yeah.
Tony is never going to be that case. She is never going to know what to expect when he walks in the door.
No.
Never will.
Yeah. It's always something different too.
So I totally agree with you. It's kind of like I remember when I was a kid, one of my favorite, and I still love the show, but I haven't watched it in years and years and years. But one of my favorite TV shows as a kid was Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, right?
Yeah, I watched it with Terry Hatcher. Yeah.
Such a great show.
It was.
Until she finds out he's Superman.
Yeah. Yeah. And then all the mysteries out the window, and
not to say it's bad.
Right.
But
it's less interesting though.
The best part about that show was the sexual tension and the tension. Let's just be fair. The tension is what made that show so great. And I loved that show. I don't give a shit.
I watched it all the time.
It was amazing. I was a kid. I watched it every week when it was on. I looked forward to it. I loved it.
Too. Yeah.
I lived. I actually want to say it was on Sundays, but I lived for that show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Sunday night. I lived for that show. Absolutely lived for that show.
Yeah, I love it.
For some reason, I think it was airing. I think it was airing at the same time as The Simpsons.
Oh,
because for some reason I think
that's
like
not
I
a
love
good time slot.
No, but if I remember correctly, dude, I could be making this shit up. For some reason in my head, it was like I loved The Simpsons, but I stopped watching The Simpsons when it was on. Something like that. I don't remember, but I loved that show. My point is though, that tension is what made that show so great.
Yeah.
That every time she almost finds out, and it was, and of course that she loves both of it's that you know what I mean. It's Superman, but
yeah.
You had that. I love when Carmela finally calls out the priest in this episode. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Because she was like,
"Oh,
you look for spiritually thirsty women."
Because she sees him, she goes to visit him, and he's doing what he does with her with another chick, and so she's like, "Oh, great."
Yeah, with Rosalie April.
Yeah, so she's like, I thought it was just me.
Yeah, I love Rosalie April. By the way, I love that character. I love that character. Absolutely love that character. Like every guy I've ever met that loves that show has always been like, she would be so hot and I would lose my heart on every time she started talking. You know what I mean? Because her voice is so like horrible.
Yeah.
But she I love Rosalie April's a great character.
Yeah, she is.
And let me see what else.
Well, you got so this is the episode where Mikey gets whacked.
Yep.
Which I enjoyed because I hated Mikey, so I enjoyed Christopher and he's a good actor.
I hate that they whacked him.
Yeah, they could have done more with him.
Like there was a lot.
Well, he gets replaced by Richie basically, but
yeah, kind of.
Yeah, not replaced, but Richie fills that role.
Well,
Mikey
Richie fills the role of the aggravated. Will always keep
and Junior's right-hand man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
because I mean, Richie is what's going to keep Tony's.
Yeah, Mikey Palmisi.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, of course. Well,
it's a great scene too. Christopher and Paulie go after him, and
that's great.
I like how he's running, and then they see their car pull up, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
And he starts running the other way,
running through the woods and shit. Yeah,
right.
He knew. He's like, "Oh, I'm done."
And that
try to run away though.
And that totally slutty redhead woman he was married to.
Yeah,
who I hate to say that, but that's
super hot.
It's the way they portray her.
Yeah,
she comes back in the show later too. It's awesome when she does.
Oh, okay.
I love the scene when she comes back later for a different reason. We'll talk about that way later.
I will say though, I thought that Mikey being killed, I thought that they would make a bigger deal about it, but it never really gets brought up too much. Like I thought, like would Junior retaliate, or I don't know. Maybe that's just how the Mafia works.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, no, but he did.
He got done wrong because it was a cool character, and I wish they would have kept him.
Yeah, but
he gets replaced by damn it, character. He gets basically replaced by Vito. Don't mention anything about Vito on there.
Yeah, I haven't.
He doesn't know what goes on. Vito's the fat guy that's in the pastry shop that, like I said, eventually becomes
the guy we were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, so he basically becomes like
him yet.
The other fat guy they put in. I don't mean he becomes Vito. I don't mean Vito becomes him because he's an informant. That's not what I mean, because he's not. I just mean like he becomes the other fat guy. I don't know. Becomes the other fat guy that isn't big pussy.
Yeah.
Of course, Livia has her stroke, right?
Yes.
Tony tries to kill his mother here too.
He does. Yeah.
He's gonna kill her.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Not
right there in the hospital.
And I love that he's talking to her like as she's being wheeled away, and her eyes are this big. It's
yeah.
And that.
Oh, and also, oh shit. This is a crazy episode. This is also the episode where Artie finds out that Tony is responsible for his restaurant being burned down.
When because it's Tony's mother that says it.
Yeah, she tells him.
Didn't she tell him earlier than that? I thought she told him earlier.
She might have told him earlier. I can't remember when she. No, it was this one.
Okay.
pretty sure that's what what Wiki says.
How's your mother? Is she still on that crazy diet? I love that.
I completely forgot about that part. It's funny how much stuff is in this episode actually.
I love the way they end this season.
Yeah.
Where with them going to the restaurant, and because it's raining outside, and Vesuvio, they'll figure something out, and that it's a cool way to end the episode. The beginning of season 2 with the song that they're playing, is I think one of the best moments of the show. I think it's season 2 that starts that way. It was a very good year. Is that season 2 that starts with that song? It doesn't matter.
It was either season 2 or it was the end of this episode. I can't remember. No, I think you're right. I think it was.
I think it's season.
I think the beginning. I'm pretty sure that's how it starts.
I'm pretty sure that's season 2.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the Sinatra song or whatever. There's a Sinatra.
Oh no! How strong is Artie to break that? Yeah, dude, that's just funny. It's funny. I don't know.
Artie's very strong.
You piece of shit.
So yeah,
yeah, it's great.
It's intense, and Artie's so great.
Artie, he's an awesome actor. And I look at it, dude. I haven't acted in a million years, but I studied theater in college, and I spent a lot of part of my younger life on stage, and I think when I watch characters like this, it's probably why I'm not figuring out who did it, because I'm analyzing the acting.
Yeah.
I always think of that, like, what characters are hard to play. The bigger, in my opinion. Oh, right. Yeah. So it's season 2 that starts off with the Very Good Year song.
Yeah. I remember that now.
It was a very good year.
Is that Sinatra? I always say Sinatra.
Is it Sinatra? I think
I'm such a noob with that kind of music.
Probably Sinatra.
It's one of those guys. And
I was gonna say it has to be
maybe
Sinatra.
I don't know.
Yeah, Sinatra. I had to sing it in my head, but I was like, yeah, that's got to be Sinatra. There's no way.
I thought it was.
But anyway, great way to start it. But what I'm saying is, like, the bigger the character, the easier it is to play, in my opinion. Yeah, it's Sinatra.
Okay.
The bigger the character, right?
Yeah.
Subtle is hard.
Yeah.
I
could see that.
Why Anthony Hopkins was so brilliant when he played Hannibal Lecter was because of how pulled back it is.
Yeah.
He's not
more brooding. Yeah. More brooding.
I ate her liver.
Cold. Cold and
a nice candy.
Yeah. Anyone can go out there and scream. Well, not anyone.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean,
screaming and shouting and stuff. And
the Sam Kinison approach is, whatever. It's easier to do.
Yeah.
But there are characters that it's just, to me, like Paulie, Silvio. Like, I'm not saying they didn't do a great job, but when you're reading the script, you can see how to, you can figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Interesting, like with The Godfather, right? Al Pacino wanted to be Sonny. He didn't want to be Michael. And he said he didn't know how to play Michael. He said Sonny is easy. You just got to be pissed off.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to play Michael because Michael was...
And he was still pretty young back then, so I get it.
And he was... Yeah. But, I mean, Michael is a harder character.
Or something? Or...
Michael in part 2 is easier when he's more like The Godfather.
Yeah.
But playing that... he was a Marine who comes home from the war. Like, it's a harder character to wrap your head around. I think on this show, Artie Bucco is one of the hardest characters to try to conceptualize from an acting perspective. Like, I mean, really do, because there's a lot going on with that character. Well, I mean, clearly Tony Soprano is so three-dimensional. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But Artie, to me, is just one of those that's like, dude, he's not one of the muscle guys. He's not the funny guy. He's not,
Artie's one of those characters. Whenever I see him, I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah, I love every scene.
Here.
Every scene Artie's in for the whole show. I love them all.
Yeah,
I love every
love
scene
how he takes
Paulie's
everything
in.
so serious and like,
Yeah. I love every
And-
scene Paulie's in, literally every scene that has Artie Bucco.
yeah.
I love it.
And he's
you
an
know?
actual good guy too. Like,
And he's a good guy.
yeah,
who
he's like
wants
one
to-
of the actually good-hearted people in the
What's
show.
funny is he's the only good guy on the show, and he wishes he wasn't.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like
That's true.
he hates that he's not. He hates that he's not capable of being connected.
Yeah,
He hates it. He doesn't want to be a pushover. He wants to be a tough guy. He's jealous of Tony.
But you know he wouldn't be cut out for it.
No, he's not cut out for it at all. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. No way.
Yeah.
No way in hell. No
Uh-uh.
way in hell.
No.
Like absolutely no. Not a chance. Not a
No.
chance he's cut out for it.
No.
But he
just wants to be one of the guys.
Yeah. And he wants I mean, more than anything. I mean, I think, you know, him and Tony are
And
good
he is
friends.
kind of one of the he's friends with everyone,
one of the guys.
but yeah.
He's one of the guys, you know,
Yeah.
he can go to barbecues and drink and hang out with those guys and hang out at the strip club, but he's not.
But he's also not going to go to prison if, you know, if he
right.
fucks up.
Right. He's not going to go to prison. He has a respectable job.
Yeah.
In fairness, he's pissed off that Tony, like, look, that fire, he got a better restaurant out of it.
Right.
It helped him out.
But he
doesn't like that. That's how he doesn't like that Tony did that for him. He doesn't like it.
No.
He wants to be. He wants to. You know, he wants to be straight, but he wants to be one of the guys. He wants to be tough. Like I do. I love that character.
Yeah, he's
amazing. I know the story where that actor he made the short list of people to play Tony Soprano.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Well, there were
interesting,
and actually so did Little Steven, who plays Silvio. They were two of the guys that were considered to be Tony Soprano.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, you know, their acting abilities. I'm sure either of them could have done
my God.
You know,
the guy who plays, and I don't know his name. I'm sorry. Who plays Artie would have killed that role. It would have been amazing, but it would never have been what James Gandolfini did with it. No. It was one of those where, like, sometimes the casting is
perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
Yeah.
The casting on the show is.
And that's why, that's why people have this job. People are casters. Like people are hired to do this kind of work.
Yep.
It's not coincidence, you know, like these again, people know what they're looking for and they know when they see it in somebody.
Most of these characters were relative unknowns.
Yeah.
Most of them, some of them were complete unknowns.
None of them were superstars or anything.
Other than Melfi. She was the only, because she won an Oscar, because she was in, but they wanted her to play Carmela Soprano. She said, no, I just did that.
Yeah.
If she played Carmela, she would have been playing the same role she did.
Yep.
And that she won an Oscar for. And she's like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But God, could you imagine like how does anybody other than Edie Falco play Carmela?
Yeah,
like
I know. You try to picture it and like that would be weird, wouldn't it?
I mean,
but it's easy to say that now after we've seen so much, but
there are
it's a weird concept for sure.
You know, it's weird. It's like thinking of the movie The Cable Guy.
I love that movie. I know you're not a Jim Carrey fan.
No, but you know it wasn't supposed to be Jim Carrey.
I don't remember who was it supposed to be. It
was supposed to be Chris Farley.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, no, what happened with the movie?
That's
what happened?
Weird.
Here's what happened. When Chris Farley did,
I love Chris Farley, but
I love Chris Farley. But when Chris Farley did Tommy Boy, they had him on the contract to be able to do a second movie.
Oh, okay.
And I if I remember the story correctly, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm not far off. The details might be slightly wrong, but
was it because he died, or what? Did they just choose Jim Carrey?
No.
Oh, okay.
He did Tommy Boy, and it was big. The Cable Guy was going to be his breakout role.
Oh.
And at the last minute, the production company called him on his contract that said, wait, nope, you have to do one more movie for us. And that's why Black Sheep,
okay.
Which is funny, but it's a fucking Tommy Boy ripoff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Black Sheep is like Tommy Boy B-side, you know, like
it is. It's the shitty Tommy Boy. I like the movie.
It's still decent, yeah.
but
it's very watchable.
It's a shitty Tommy Boy. It's
not a
it's the
classic.
lesser of the two movies.
Yeah, it's not a
but
classic.
It's because they pulled him and made him do that movie.
Amen.
And
Spade again.
and as cool as and I don't like Jim Carrey. Fine. But imagine that movie. Chris Farley would have taken that. It would have been a completely different movie.
Yeah.
And it would have solidified Chris Farley as one of the greats.
It would have. Yeah.
And I've heard them talk about like the ways the movie was intended to be, you know. I mean, look, Chris Farley was supposed to be Shrek, right? But he died.
Yeah.
Well, I'm serious. He was Shrek, and then he died. So they got Mike Myers to do it, and Mike Myers sucked at it and said, "Well, can I just do my Scottish accent? Because it's the only thing I know how to do." And they're like, "Oh, go for it." And look, I like Mike Myers.
I do too.
But there's a reason why Shrek has a Scottish accent. It's because it was supposed to be Chris Farley. He died. Then Mike Myers did it, and
Mike Myers didn't know what else to do.
He couldn't make the character work, so he did the Scottish guy. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. He did that. That's what he did. That's what he knows. And he admits that. I mean, he says that.
Yeah.
But the cable guy was supposed to be, but it wasn't because Farley died. It's because they pulled him. My point is, if you watch that movie thinking in your head about Chris Farley, because you got to realize Chris Farley was a funny guy, and he hated what he called Fatty Falls Down. He hated that he was just fat, and his thing was to just fall on things.
People are going to laugh at me because I'm fat, fat people are dumb and
exactly.
and silly and
Bob Odenkirk hated the Chippendales scene. He hated it.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
Because the entire humor of that show is he's fat.
Yeah, it's true.
And Bob Odenkirk he didn't want him to do it. Bob Odenkirk was his best friend, and he didn't want him to do it, But point being is the cable guy would have made Chris Farley. It would have been his skyrocket him. And it might have saved his life too. And I say that because it might have pushed him into the people respect me now.
Yeah, maybe I can do serious
shit
now.
They laugh at.
Yeah.
They're laughing with me, not at me.
Yeah.
But so you think about those, like how different would this be?
Yeah.
I don't think the Sopranos would have, minus James Gandolfini, Sopranos doesn't work. Right? Could they have got this? The show would have worked if any one of those characters was played by someone else.
Yeah,
fine.
It's one of those situations where we wouldn't know what we were missing, but still, maybe it wouldn't be as good.
That show didn't work without James Gandolfini.
Maybe it would have been a lesser show.
Yeah, it would have been. But with a lot of the other characters, it's just like, man, like. But yeah, my hat is totally off to him because that role's got to suck to try to do it, man.
Honestly, I think James Gandolfini was a fantastic actor.
Oh yeah, he was incredible, absolutely incredible, and like a classical actor. He was a. You don't think of this as like a classically trained actor role,
right?
And
he's one of those actors too. I love the actors that find success like later in their life. What was he, like 40 years old when he played Tony?
It had to have been.
Yeah. And
I mean, like
nobody knew who he was before that. He did a few things. I've seen him in some they're minor roles.
Yeah, they're minor. They totally are. Like when you think
he was like a working actor, before that.
When you think of
probably already had 20 years of experience,
when you think of someone like Marlon Brando, right? And I know it's a bad comparison because he was the Godfather, but dude, he was considered the greatest actor in the history of acting without the Godfather. You know what I mean? Like, the Godfather was later.
It didn't make his career. He already had he was already a megastar.
He was the,
it made his career
the greatest actor of all time.
Yeah, already.
Up until, legitimately, like
that's why they had to pay him so much money. Like he demanded
his legacy
a shitload
was
of money.
Always that Marlon Brando was the greatest actor of for generations. I mean, and
rightfully so.
But again, what the reason? Here's what I mean by that. When you think of that, like classically great acting mafia boss, again, I know it's a bad example because of The Godfather, but mafia boss who hangs out at strip clubs doesn't sound like the classically trained actors pinnacle.
That's part of why I like it so much.
But this show is so good that there are plenty of one-dimensional characters on this show, and Tony's not one of them. And I think it absolutely just it's
that's what I like about the show. The fact that it shows us what maybe what the Mafia was like in the 90s. We already saw what it was like in the 50s and 60s. So that's what's cool about it. Like we get to see the new generation of Mafia.
And I mean,
arguably the last. I'm sure it still exists, but the last of their heyday.
He kind of starts off the show season 1 saying it's kind of
it ain't what it used to be.
It ain't what it used to be, and it won't, and it can't.
Surveillance and technology is going to bring us down. And
technology, it wouldn't work. I mean, clearly there's still shady shit that goes on, but
I'm sure they still exist, but it's probably much more underground. And
the organized mafia that we think about is just not what it is.
I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah. So, all right, well, okay, so I think we've wrapped up season 1.
Yeah.
I am very much looking forward to doing season 2.
Yeah. Season 2 is a different animal than season 1.
Innocence is gone.
Innocence
this is the end of Innocence, to quote the.
It really is.
That's a Symphony X song. It's a nice Earth song.
It starts. Season 2 starts off. Boom. It's so serious and so like dark.
Yeah. I can't wait. I do. I mean, seasons 2 through 4, man. I absolutely love them. Absolutely, just love them. And again, I know like season 2 was super popular. Me being a season 3 guy,
I see why.
Season 2, the one with like, it really builds it up. I think
I'm curious to see what after I've seen it all. I wonder what I'm going to say. What my favorite season is.
Yeah, mine's 3.
I'm curious. I have no idea.
Season 2 might be the best season. Season 3 is just because of one character. But all right, so it is midnight my time.
It is.
So it is about time that I make like a tree and get out of here.
I think we did great. I think our pacing was good, and
we finished season 1.
We did 4 episodes. We've never done 4 episodes.
It only took us like
before.
3 months to do it, but but you know what though? Yeah, but I mean, we can do a few episodes. Absolutely, man. We'll do we'll do next week. I don't have any reason I can't. 2 weeks from now is going to be. I'm throwing this out as a maybe. I'm driving to Harrisburg to see King's X. It's King's X, and awesome. It's not that far. I mean, I'll be home Saturday.
I wish I could go. I really wish
I'll be home Saturday. There's no reason I shouldn't. I'm just throwing it out now.
Yeah.
There's no reason I won't be able to do it next week. So yeah, it'd be awesome. We'll do season 2, and actually doing 3 or 4 episodes is probably good. We could probably do it every week here.
I thought it worked just fine. Yeah.
I thought it was great. We might stumble into sometimes where there's like mega episodes where we want to talk about one, but anyway. All right. Well, hey, let me bounce. Thanks for having me on again. This is super fun, and I'm looking forward to next week. So
yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right, man.
All right.
We'll talk soon. See everybody later.
Yeah. Thank you.